How do you hold the ball for almost 9 minutes in the fourth quarter and still lose in like absolute terrible fashion? Well, the Bears showed us how to do it. Let's talk about it. Hey, my name is Keith. This is Black Quarterback Series. And so a lot of our A-listers played primetime games. So we get to go in depth more about guys that we don't normally get a chance to like really sink our teeth into, right? And so let's get into this Justin Fields against who did they play? Against Detroit Lions. And so Justin Fields, before I start, Justin Fields did return. I had no idea he was returning until I turned on the game he was playing. I was like, wait, I didn't get no report. I didn't get no report about this. I didn't get a tweet about it or nothing. It was crazy. I'm glad I am locked in on Sunday. So he was 16 for 23 and 169 yards, a touchdown. Carried the ball 8 times, 104 yards. DJ Moore was awesome. 7 receptions, 96 yards, and a touchdown. So the offense is rolling. Fields is doing Fields things. Fields could possibly be the best runner we've ever had in the NFL if he keeps going this way. But so let's take it all the way to the fourth quarter, and I'm gonna say something. Then we're gonna get going. Good teams find ways to win. Losing teams find ways to lose, and so you'll understand what I'm saying. Why I say that as I explain this game. So Fields holds the ball for almost 9 minutes. It's like 9 minutes 40-something seconds, and that only leads to a field goal. If they score a touchdown there, I still firmly believe that they lose. But it's a lot harder at that point to lose that game. So they kick a field goal. They go up 26-14 with 4 minutes and 15 seconds left. Their next 2 offense possessions is a punt, which was a great play call. They just missed it. And then a fumble to essentially end the game. So you might be like, Keith, a lot of that is not their offensive fault. I get it. It's not a lot of the offensive fault. But if you're up that much with 4:15 left and you get the ball back, you're supposed to run the clock out. But again, this is not a very good football team. They find ways to lose. They've been in some of these games, but they just always find ways to lose these games. Justin Fields looked decent. He looked decent. Still didn't throw the ball much. I'm all for running the ball, but you got to develop as a passer. You got to really develop as a passer. We'll get more to this in the Cleveland game, but when you develop more as a passer, it opens up everything else. So he played okay. They should have won. But Detroit is an awesome football team, and this is what awesome football teams do. They find ways to win games. So I expect Justin Fields to not be there next year. I didn't even know he was going to play this year anymore. So hopefully they figure it out, and I would love to see Justin Fields on like could you imagine him with the Steelers? Like obviously with Matt Canada gone, but could you see him with the Steelers? I would love to see him with a good organization that could actually use his skills the right way. And he feels like a Steeler to me, like run the ball, real hard-nosed guy. He's from Ohio, so he knows what playing in the – he's not from Ohio, but he played in Ohio, so he knows what playing in the winter is like, even though he doesn't like playing in the winter. But yeah, I expect Justin Fields to finish this year out decently. But I got to see more progression in the passing game for him, like I've seen in Lamar. Lamar has become proficient in the passing game. I don't think Fields will ever get to that point to where he's Lamar efficient, but I need to see somewhere around there. You need to be Jalen Hurts efficient at least, which is probably higher than Lamar efficient, honestly. So you got to be in that realm if you're a passer, if you're a runner. So let's get to the Kyler Murray versus CJ Stroud. Probably one of the best games, even for me, for what I do, is probably one of the best games of the year. Kyler Murray is still that dude. Kyler Murray is still that guy. He don't look hurt at all. I had questions about bringing him back this year. Why would they bring him back? But he looks really good. He looks just like Kyler Murray pre-injury. Kyler Murray was 20 for 30, 214 yards, a touchdown interception. I don't have his rushing numbers right here, but they'll be up on the screen. He has no offensive line. In Houston, D'Amico said, we're just going to rush this guy and force him to make passes and force him to run around and force him to be uncomfortable. And that's essentially what they did. And even with that, Kyler Murray, they were in the game. They were in the game. They were in the game. But But C.J. Stroud and them are a better football team. And like I said earlier, better football teams are most likely going to find ways to win. And they were up 21-10 most of this game until a late rally by Kyler Murray and the guys, but it never really amounted to nothing because D'Amico's defense is awesome. Him and Will Anderson is awful. And I also saw Will Anderson is a captain already as a rookie. That's crazy. To be a captain as a rookie in the NFL, that's like Hall of Fame Star Wars stuff. So CJ was 27 for 37, 336 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. So I'm going to explain all 3 interceptions so it doesn't look as bad as you think it is. Oh, my God, these 3 terrible interceptions. The first one was bad. He tried to fit it into a window that he probably shouldn't have fit it into, but, hey, Brady did that as well. The second one was a tip pass. The wide receiver had it, tipped up, and went to an Arizona Cardinal. Not really his fault. The second one, the pressure got to him, and he tried to throw it over the top, and the Cardinal beat him. And the Cardinal beat the receiver there, and made the catch on the sideline. So all 3 interceptions, none of the 3 were created equal. Still a good game for him. Not his best game, but again, he's a rookie, which he's still trying to figure it out. The Houston defense bended but didn't break. There was plenty of times to where the Houston defense could have gave up a touchdown, and I wouldn't have been surprised if they gave up a touchdown, but they just kept bending, and never broke. They always made the big sack. They always, even on the last drive, on the last play of the last drive, they made the huge deflection. This team is good, man. This team is good, man. I don't know if they play Arizona. Not Arizona. I don't know if they play Jacksonville again this year, but I can't wait to see that game. That probably will lead the show because I really want to see Jacksonville play this team and see how they fare well against them now. With CJ looking the way he looking, D'Amico got this defense and offense humming. I just can't wait to see this team in the playoffs because they're definitely going to make the playoffs. They're going to upset somebody. They're going to upset somebody, and it's probably going to be somebody from the NFC North or the AFC North, most likely. Maybe I hope not Baltimore, but maybe Baltimore, Cleveland, maybe because I think Cleveland's going to sneak in the back door, and hey, maybe even Pittsburgh. The way Pittsburgh is playing, they might even, and that wouldn't really be an upset because Pittsburgh shouldn't even be there in the first place. So they're going to give some team in the playoffs a tough out. Speaking of Pittsburgh, there's no reason Pittsburgh should be even in this conversation, be making the playoffs. Their offense is terrible. And so moving on to Cleveland, moving to the Cleveland-Pittsburgh game, Thompson Robinson, I think they said he played at USC, and I vaguely remember him thinking that that's not an NFL quarterback. But he was 24 for 43, 165 yards and an interception. Awful quarterback play all the way around from Kenny Pickett to him. And I told you guys maybe like 2 weeks ago, they need a quarterback, the Cardinals. Also, Pittsburgh needs a quarterback. So, I don't know who they're going to get, but Aaron Rodgers, I think Aaron Rodgers should have went to one of these teams instead of wanting to go to the Jets. But, Aaron Rodgers wants to be the Big Apple and blah, blah, blah. But how they was even in this game, Pittsburgh, is crazy enough to me. I don't understand how they were even in this game. Cleveland gets the win, though. Ugly. Shout out to them, Mike Tomlin. They I don't know what they're doing. They convince, not sorcery, but they're MacGyvering it over there. Like, I don't know how they're even in contention. But Cleveland won on the backs of their defense as they've been doing all year. Like I said a couple weeks ago, even when Deshaun was playing, they need a competent quarterback. And when you saw when Deshaun was competent, they looked really obviously good. Deshaun's not there anymore. He's going to be out for the rest of the season. And so we'll see how Cleveland fares, but if this defense can lead them to the playoffs, that's a feat in itself. Okay game, defensive struggle. They end up winning by a field goal, 13-10 Cleveland. And so we're going to hit some of these other games. You know what? No, not yet. We're going to go to Jordan Love. Jordan Love was 27 for 40, 322 yards, 2 touchdowns. Essentially was throwing it all over the yard. It looked like they got whatever they wanted. And the Chargers essentially got whatever they wanted too. It wasn't a lot of defense being played. But which is crazy because the Chargers have so many good guys on defense. And so Green Bay ends up winning 23-20 after a drop by I can't his last name is not Johnson, but it looks like Johnson. Terrible drop on third down for the Chargers from Justin Herbert. And they end up losing the game. And so I'm gonna be on my soapbox for a minute, so take this with a grain of salt. When is Justin Herbert gonna win something? When is Justin Herbert gonna win anything? I saw on Twitter today, they're saying, is Justin Herbert gonna get the same excuses that Lamar Jackson gets? Lamar Jackson does not have a Keenan Allen. Lamar Jackson doesn't have an Austin Eckler. Lamar Jackson doesn't have a Mike Williams when he's not on IR. Any of these receivers would be number ones on any of Lamar's teams. Any of them, even this one. Keenan Allen would be number one on Baltimore right now. Austin Eckler would be the number one running back right now. And so for people to be like, oh, Justin Herbert, Justin Herbert is great. He's top 10 talent, right? But he hasn't won anything to get top 10 acclaim. And my problem with Justin Herbert is that you have to win something to get that top 10 acclaim, because there's a guy that's better than you and has accomplished more, maybe not like that much more, but he's accomplished more. He's an MVP. He's led a team that was terrible to something like. I just want the same energy for Justin Herbert as there is for Lamar. That's all I ask for. Because being a Lamar guy, I don't care. You guys told us to get it done. You told us Lamar has to be better. You told us that Lamar has to play above his talent. He has to lead the way. Y'all told us that Lamar wasn't worth his contract. But Justin Herbert gets to stink it up every fourth quarter, and we're supposed to act like he don't exist. Now, I feel like a broken record because I'm sure I've said this before, but we need to hold Justin Herbert accountable, man. We got to hold Justin Herbert accountable. And so the last game of the day, because Geno Smith got hurt, and so I'm put his numbers and his stats all on the screen. But I didn't get a chance to watch that game, and he got hurt halfway through it, so I definitely stopped. Didn't even think to watch it. But we're moving to the Cowboys. So Dallas versus the Panthers. Dak was 23 for 38, 189 yards, 2 touchdowns. Young was 16 for 29, 123 yards, a touchdown. What I will say about the Panthers, they had one good drive this year, or one good drive this game, which looks really, really good. It was coming out of halftime, and they looked poised, boom, 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 and then they ended up scoring. But that was pretty much it, because after that, pick six, and Dallas started dominating. It was 7-3 at half, so it was already uphill battle. And so this is more about Dallas than it is about Bryce Young, because Bryce Young has no talent for real. I'm going to give Bryce Young 1 year. I'm going to give him one more year. This is his rookie year. He's playing with no offensive line. I'm not going to judge Bryce Young too tough because he's not playing with anything except for Thielen, right? So, but Dak Prescott, he did what he had to do and got out of there early. I need Dallas to beat some teams that matter. And I said this last week, and I'm going to keep saying it. And by teams that matter, I mean the 49ers. All of this is great. All of this is great what Dallas is doing. They're beating the teams they're supposed to beat. But you're losing to the Eagles, and you're losing to 49ers. Everything that you've lost to, you should have beat. Now, I'm not saying they're not in this same realm. They definitely are. But in order for me to take Dallas seriously, I need them to beat teams that they're not supposed to beat. So that's really it. Really short week, guys. I did a review on the Monday Night Football game, so it'll be either in the community tab or it'll be at the end. Also did a preview of the Monday night game as well, so if you guys want to check that out, it'll be in the link as well or on the end screen, all that good stuff. And I'll talk to you guys later.
Actually, we were actually in our chapel, and our pastor was talking about worship when you're away. So basically, worship when things aren't the greatest, and that's the true testament to faith. And for me, that's what I rely on. I couldn't be up here. I couldn't do anything on that field without my Lord and Savior, man. And He's given me a piece of a sense of peace, even when everything around me is going crazy. So just got to say that and give y'all a little nugget of the word. So.